Good morning. Welcome to 2023. I'm looking forward to a great year. My name is Becky, Socks for Mom, and it's been, I don't think I've recorded since October, but I really want to do a year-end wrap-up. I don't think I showed you the things I stitched in October, and I was getting ready to put away my December things, and I thought, well, I'll just pop on here and do a little recap of that. I would also like to film everything I finished this year. I'll probably do that in a separate video along with my goals for 2023. So go get a cup of coffee. I wish I had one here. I should have thought about that before I started this. I am nice and comfy. I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt and my pajama bottoms. I tie-dyed this shirt with my grandson when I visited him a couple months ago. And let's get started. I think I will start by showing you some finishes I did in October. So I don't have my notes with me. I'm just going to try to wing this. I stitched this, is from Winds of Autumn, and it's really pretty. I think they stitched it with Onyx, and I wanted mine to be orange. So I believe I stitched this with hazelnut. You know what? I know I might get some questions, so I'm going to pause right here and go get my book. We'll see how good I recorded what I stitched these with. I don't think I did. They were on a card in the bag, which I've long since put away, but I can sort of remember. So this was from the book, Winds of Autumn. It's on a 36 count. I'm not sure what it is. Just something from my stash. And the color I used, I believe, was hazelnut. Okay. The next thing I finished up, and I worked on this while I was in Philadelphia visiting my daughter. This is Penny Autumn by Plum Street. It is stitched on 36 count Ren with all the called for. I absolutely love this. I picked out a frame on frames.com. I did all the measurements and calculations and thought I had submitted it. They were having free shipping, and I waited and waited and waited and waited. It never showed up on my credit card, and I went out and looked, and I had never pressed complete the order. So I'll have to frame this next year. I finished Agnes Lyle by Whilst Iris Naps, and here she is. I framed her. I picked out this frame from Hobby Lobby, and when I got home I realized that I have used this frame before, so I must really like it, only it's in a warmer color. So this is Miss Agnes Lyle. It's kind of funny right here. It says Glasgow, but it says wed. Right here it says wed in the year age 9. And a friend of mine contacted me. She said she got married when she was 9. This girl was a non-stitcher. And I said, oh no, it says sewed, S-O-W-E-D. She sewed this when she was 9 years old, and she spelled sewed, S-O-W, instead of S-E-W. Maybe the Scottish way. This is a Scottish sampler. The really cool thing that I liked about this one is that I stitched it just like the pattern calls for. And when I was done, or when I was stitching these, I noticed these are my girls' initials, Jennifer Lauren and Allison Diane. Of course, the Scots don't cross their A's in this fun sampler. But I just thought that was really neat. And I forgot to put a line right here. These are all of Agnes's, the initials of her siblings and her grandparents. And I'm not sure, one of them's her father, I think, maybe her mother. But I love this pattern, and I'm happy to have that done and framed and on my wall. Agnes Lyle by Whilst Iris Naps. The next thing I finished and framed was Eleanor Rigby, part of the Yellow Submarine series, or Magical Mystery Tour by Blackbird Designs. I plan to stitch all of these. This is a rustic frame I got from the Rusty Roof. The Rusty Roof. Fits perfectly. I immediately started Strawberry Fields, which is in my stash, so that will be the next one I'm stitching. Eleanor Rigby. This song was really, really popular when I was in junior high school. Okay, everything else fell on the floor, so hold on a second. The next thing I finished was a birthday start I had the year before with Christine Hollis. And this is Peacock at Manor Hill. And I used all the called fors. It is a Brenda Gervais pattern. And I can't wait to get that framed. The fan's going. It's like 71 degrees here in Texas. It feels wonderful after my cold stint in Colorado, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. Okay, the last thing I finished in October, which was quite exciting. Maybe I finish this in November. Let's see here. I finished this in early November. I stitch with some friends. We have a little group where I think I've told you before, we take turns giving it, we vote on something we want to stitch together, and then we take turns giving weekly assignments. And that works really well for me. And for them too, I believe. This is the Noel sampler by Brenda Gervais. We loved stitching this one. Mine is on vintage cedar plank, and this is all DMC. I love the little people down there, and the deer, the doggy right there. I put my initials, BW or RW, BW. This is just beautiful. Love that red. And I will hang this out all year round because it's gorgeous. So that is the Noel sampler. And then the last thing I did, oh no, I've got two more. I finished Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick. And I found this little frame at Hobby Lobby, which I thought was really cute. And I used sticky board, and that will be the last time. I do not like, I just cut it to size. I really prefer pinning on foam core. It looks a little crooked, but I don't think it is. Yeah, there we go. And she hangs in my craft room. it just, you know, I'm going to leave it though, because now it's cut and it's too small for me to stretch. Well, I probably could stretch it, but I like this frame, and it's just a quirky little thing that hangs on my wall, so it's fun. And then the other thing I did not, I finished stitching this a long time ago, but it's been waiting to be framed. And I found this frame at a thrift store, and I grunged it up. It was completely gold, and I painted a little bit of silver on it to go with this, and a little brass color. And this is Miss Bingley's Library. It's a quote from, okay, let me think, Pride and Prejudice. I wanted to say Sense and Sensibility. I've read all of those. I love all of those. And Miss Bingley was a piece of work. She gave Jane a hard time. And it says, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library. And she was walking around the room with Elizabeth and saying things like, let them admire our figures, our fine figures, as we stroll around the room. And then she said this, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library. But I love that. I have the companion piece, A Gentleman's Daughter, that I would love to stitch someday and hang next to it. So I'm a big fan of the books and of the movies, of course. So those are the things I did in November, October and November. No, November. That's right. Anyways, you know what I mean. So the next thing I'm going to share with you is I went to Denver. Well, I've been in Denver a bunch. This has been a bit of a rough year, but it's been a good year for me. It's been a year of growth, which is wonderful. I like those kind of years. I have found that as I've gotten older, I tend to meet trials with a different attitude than I did when I was younger. I always look at them as serving a purpose in my life and building me in different ways. This was a hard year. Initially, it started out with us bringing my daughter's golden retriever to Texas so he could enjoy our backyard his last few months of his life while he died of bone cancer. And he didn't seem to be in a lot of pain. We had him well medicated. He loved being outside. He loved eating. He loved, our vet had told us to look for 3 things that he loves, and when he stops doing those, it's time. Well, he never stopped, but then it was very noticeable he was going down quickly. So our daughter came. She was coming every other weekend, I think, and those 3 months, I think he died in March. So that's how the beginning of my year started. So there wasn't much time for filming. And then in August, she got another golden puppy and asked Mom to come help her. And so I went to Denver at the end of August, and really, I'm just now coming home. So these are the things I did in December. So that was rough. A puppy is rough. A puppy is more work than I remember, but he is beautiful. And I've shown you guys pictures, and you've all commented on him, and I miss him terribly right now. I feel like I'm his mom because this is the first time he's been apart from me since she's had him. So anyways, it's been a good year. My word for the year was savor. And so I savored that last time with Brody, and I savored the puppy time with Brinkley, and that has been a good word for me this year. It's helped me. So I encourage you to pick a word for the year. My word this year is steadfast, because I am trying to get my whips down before I turn 70. I've told you this. I have 4 years to get them down to 3 or 4. I have a lot. I do not have a mocking basket of whips like Olivia did. I have a mocking closet of whips. And I'm not going to do a whip parade. I did go through and pick 12 things for the New Year's Eve dilly that everybody was doing. I picked 12 whips that I really wanted to work on and enjoyed them so much. I picked out fabric for new fabric bags for them, and I enjoyed them so much that I thought, you know, I'm just going to keep these out, and I'm just going to work on these this year along with the other things I'm working on that I will tell you about in my next video. So without further ado, let's go to December. I have this basket that I took to Colorado, and I'm just going to pull things out randomly out of here. Let's see. I did purchase this pattern while I was there. It's Burr, it's cold outside. Whoops. I love this. I loved it the moment I saw Christy Crosshatch Quilts did it. And I had been working on my snowmen in Denver, which I have right here. Hold on just a second. They're partially stuffed, but I'll go ahead and show them to you anyways. I think the book has been put away. But this is Brenda Gervais' Snowball. So this is the first one. Let me put something up behind it. Not gonna work. Let's do white. I had fiberfill in Colorado, and I stuffed them with the fiberfill, but they're not finished because I need to put some walnut shells in it, which I had at home. I didn't want to go buy some, and I found this pretty fabric at the quilt store. This is the next one. Winter Wonderland. Found that pretty fabric. This fabric is so soft. And the last one I made was this cute little fella. And I found this fabric. So these are the 3 fabrics. I would love to make a project bag with these because I want to do all of those snowmen in that book. Because in January, I would like to have a snowman display. So that's the first thing. First thing in my basket. The next thing I bought at a stitching shop was this. I really, really admired Cotswold Fields when it came out at market last year, I think, but I didn't buy it. So when I was there, I went ahead and bought it. I just love this. So pretty. And I even started collecting Cotswold photos off the internet because I would love to go to the Cotswolds. Look at that. And it says the birds of the air, God takes care, our world with abundance it yields. He delights in the creatures of the land and sea, but mostly the sheep of Cotswold fields. So this is pretty big. It's 324 over 256. The finished size on 40 count is 16 by 13. So I will need to get some fabric for that. Start it maybe sometime this year. I only have a few planned starts, and this will be one of them. Okay, let's see what's in this one. When I finished, what was I stitching on? Oh, when I finished the Noel sampler, I pulled out my Christmas garden. Hold on a second. It's in this book by Blackbird Designs, Christmas Garden. It's this one right here, which is also this. And I tried so many colors. I started this with my friend Barb last year, and she finished hers. But I just kept trying colors. I wasn't happy until I saw my friend Cynthia's dark version. Cynthia Creates. Yikes. Ugh, what a mess. And fell in love with that. She copied, can't remember her name, but I'm going to put it right down here. This other lady's conversion, and she calls her conversion Dickens version, which I love. I'm a big Dickens fan. Sorry for the wrinkles, but here is what I have. Hubby just got home. So right up there, I decided that I'm going to put all the females in my family, starting with my great-grandmother. Their maiden initials. So there's my mom, Delma Lee Poston. There's her sister, passed away this year, Myrna Loy Poston. And whose are these? This is my grandmother, Ela May Elkins. This linen is not available. It was by a one-off from Vicki Clayton, and I believe it's called Bird's Feathers. It's kind of brassy. And the colors I used were Cherry Cobbler, Caper, which I'm all out of. The rest are DMC. I used 829 for the one gold star, 3031, 3033. This is my white, and 3790. So I really love this. And it's going away, but it will come out probably next December, or maybe in July for me to work on. Hold on just a second. Another thing I worked on was a Prairie Schooler, of course. I made this little bag. And I decided I really like this size bag. If the pattern is, you know, 5 by 8 or whatever that size is. So on New Year's Eve, those 12 things that I pulled, I also pulled fabric for those. And I will show you those in a separate video. So this is something my husband really wanted me to finish this year, or finish, but I'm missing the, it is Christmas Tree Farm by the Prairie Schooler, book number 198. And this was a really fun morning stitch with my coffee. Hi, I'm filming. It's on 32 count. Let's see, 32 count natural Swigart that I got at, let me take these pins out as we go. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and that's what I have so far. And I was stitching on this while hubby and I started watching the series, The Three Pines, which is based off the Inspector Gamache books by Louise Penny, which I've read several of those and really enjoyed the series. So I'm going to always think of this as that village, the Three Pines. So I quit right there with the houses. I'm going to pick this up again when my friend Yvette and Carol want to stitch it. And I told them that when they pick theirs up, when they get going on theirs, I will finish mine. Carol Crago and Yvette. And that's with DMC. Pretty standard Prairie Schooler colors. The red is 3777. The black is 3371, 898, and 640. So I will look forward to getting back to this. And it looks like I have 935 in here also. So pretty much done with the red houses. So when I pick it up again, I'll do those trees. And I have this cute little Santa thread keep that I made. All right, let's see what else is in here. Oh, here's the book for the snowmen. I'll just show you. And I found some little balls like that at Hobby Lobby. And I will stage mine just like this. But next year, I'd like to do these. Aren't they cute? And there's a few others in here too. So that's the Snowball by Brenta Gervais. I believe I did mine on Winter's Brew. Oh, and I also finished up Brenta Gervais' Mary and Minty. That was her free pattern she did last year. And I'll have to sew this up. In fact, I'll leave that out so I can remember to sew it up. Okay, let's see what's next is, oh, these are all the things that I thought I would get to, but I'll go ahead and show them to you. I did buy the Pineberry Lane, a sprig of holly, and this one, Merry and Bright. So I hope to do those next year. And I have it all kitted, ready to go. And I also wanted to do this one, Merry number 2. Only I'm going to do it in Aztec Red. That'll be fun. But I didn't get to this, so hopefully next year. What else do I have in here? I think that's about it. Yep. Okay, my friends, that wraps up December and November. I will be back to you and show you what I did on New Year's Eve and what my plans are for next year. So take care. Bye.